We often hear the question asked if Jesus ever said he was God. And today I want to answer the question, did Jesus ever claim to be Yahweh, using the great Isaiah scroll and tracing the Hebrew understanding of certain grammar and linguistics to the Greek Septuagint translations, and then close it with the John 8 and 58 understanding based on what we study from the linguistic tradition. So first and foremost, we got to understand what Yahweh means. So Yahweh actually comes from Heya or Heya, H-Y-H or Hey Yud Hey, meaning to be. And it's third person, like he is or he will be. When we say Yahweh, we're using the third person. But God obviously is going to refer to himself in the first person. So it's not he will, it's I will. It's not he is, it's I am. So that's why in Exodus 3:14, it says Aya Esher Aya, because Aya means I am. Second is the pattern found in Isaiah, where God repeatedly declares himself as Anihu, meaning I, he, a Hebrew idiom. So it's translated as I am he. This was how God declared himself, I am the one, in Hebrew. For example, in Isaiah 41 and 4, it says, I Yahweh the first, and with the last, I am he. And then in Isaiah 43 and 10, it says, that you may believe that I am he. And then in Isaiah 43 and 13, it says, from eternity, I am he. And then in Isaiah 46 and 4, even to old age, I am he. And in Isaiah 48 and 12, it says, I am he, I am the first, and I am also the last. So in roughly 250 BC, Jewish translators translated the Hebrew into Greek, and Anihu became ego eimi, meaning I am. And everywhere in Isaiah where it says I am he, the Greek translators translated it to ego eimi, meaning I am. So according to John's gospel, in 8 and 58, there's something very particular happening here. The Jews ultimately ask Yeshua, Jesus, who he is, and he responds, before Abraham was, ego eimi, meaning I am, meaning Anihu, meaning the first person, I am, third person, Yahweh. And we understand that they understood him because, of course, the Jews tried, the Pharisees specifically, let's clarify that, tried to stone him, okay? So they didn't misunderstand the I am statement according to John's gospel. There was no misunderstanding there. So this is fascinating because it's a triple connection. It's not just Exodus 3 and 14, the Aya, Esher, Aya comment. It's also quoting Isaiah or drawing on Isaiah as well, the Anihu statements, and is using the exact same phrase, ego eimi, from the Greek Septuagint. And it's not just John 8 and 58 where this happens either. There are also other ego eimi moments, in John's gospel especially. For example, in John 8 and 24, it says, therefore I said to you that you will die in your sins, for if you do not believe that I am he, Anihu, you will die in your sins. Now remember, Anihu is translated in the Greek Septuagint to ego eimi. There's also 8 and 28 as well, where it says, then Yeshua said to them, when you lift up the Son of Man, then you will know that I am he, or ego eimi. And then there's also John 18 and 5 through 6, where it says, they answered him, Yeshua the Nazarene. He said to them, I am he. And Yehuda, who handed him over in betrayal, was standing with them. Then he said to them, I am he. They moved away and fell backward to the ground. So that contextualizes what they thought about the I am statement. The soldiers fell back when he said, I am. And even with the before Abraham was I am statement, Abraham was I am. That's not even in the same tense. So even then, it's grammatically weird to say that he was just making a plain statement. And furthermore, there's the Anihu statements from Isaiah that really pin the tail on any donkey saying that Jesus never said he was God and I am is just a regular old statement and it didn't have anything to do with divinity. It's just a ridiculous misunderstanding of the Bible in its entirety. There's a lot of cherry picking going on. 8 and 58 is Jesus calling himself Yahweh. Only Yahweh talked about himself like this. If you go to the Old Testament, you're not going to find anybody else talking, referring to themselves as that just which is, okay? You're not going to find it. To wrap it all up, Yahweh is how we refer to God, how others refer to God. He is. Anihu is how God declares himself, meaning I am, or I am he, or I he. And ego eimi is a Greek translation of God's self-declaration. Thus, when Yeshua is using ego eimi in John's gospel, he's claiming his identity as Yahweh. He's saying he's Yahweh. When Yeshua says, before Abraham was, I am, he's using the same formula for Yahweh's identity found in Isaiah, Anihu. Thus, this is not a subtle claim to divinity. This is him literally making himself deity, calling himself Yahweh. It's really that simple. Thank you for listening.